Can a medical professional add or remove riders and exclusions in their disability insurance policy? Every medical professional needs to have an individual own occupation disability policy to provide them with financial peace of mind if they were to become disabled. Let's learn how you can add riders to your individual disability policy that can expand your coverage and remove exclusions that can limit your benefits. You owe it to yourself and your family to purchase an individual disability policy that's tailored to your needs. I know you're going to pay more, but you want that personal protection, just like my dad did when he purchased his own disability policy. I think that every professional should have a disability insurance policy with a true own occupation total disability rider, a residual disability rider, and a future purchase option rider. So how do you add a rider to your policy? Well, the easiest time to add the rider to the policy is at the time you purchased it. But if you need to expand the scope of your disability policy, the disability carrier is going to want updated medical and vocational information from you. They want to determine their underwriting risk and the cost of adding coverage. You'll want to discuss this with your agent, particularly as you complete training or as your income or expenses increase. I always suggest that you call your disability insurance agent every 2 years for a checkup. Yeah, I know they're going to try to sell you something, but you want to make sure that you're adequately protected in the case of disability as your personal circumstances change. How about removing riders? Well, reducing your disability coverage generally does not require any additional underwriting, and that can normally be done with a simple change of application. But you need to think about why you're removing these riders. How about removing exclusions? Look, it's not uncommon for disability insurance carriers to exclude a pre-existing medical condition from coverage. So, for example, if you had carpal tunnel syndrome and you're applying for an individual disability policy, the carrier is most likely going to exclude the carpal tunnel syndrome from coverage. In other words, if you become disabled as a result of carpal tunnel syndrome symptoms, no disability benefits would be due. Depending on the nature of your medical condition, the disability carrier might agree to have that exclusion removed at some point. Whether or not, when, and how the exclusion can be removed is generally a specific term found in the rider. How about working around exclusions? Depending on the facts of your case, it may be possible to work around an exclusion if a claim has to be filed. For example, I recently represented a dentist who had a policy exclusion for carpal tunnel syndrome, but he had arthritis in his thumb that made it difficult for him to hold instruments and do procedures. He had undergone surgery for carpal tunnel and had a good result, but that's not why he couldn't practice. We knew the disability carrier would attempt to seize on the carpal tunnel exclusion and deny benefits. So, before he stopped working and applied for benefits, I reviewed his policy and his medical records. We had him document in his rheumatological records the problems he was having with stiffness, loss of range of motion, and swelling that impaired his ability to do procedures. He specifically advised the rheumatologist he wasn't having any tingling or numbness secondary to the carpal tunnel syndrome. We were successful in the claim because the dentist was wise enough to consult with me, have me review his policy and the rider, and develop his medical records in a clear manner that left the disability carrier with no choice but to pay his disability benefits. Do yourself a big favor. Before you drop a part of your policy, consult your agent and understand why you're dropping, what you're dropping, and the benefit or cost to you. If you need to add. You're insuring yourself and your livelihood, your own occupation. You want the best policy possible. Now, you also want to make sure that before you stop working or reduce your practice or change it in any nature, that you consult with an experienced disability attorney such as myself. As I explained, we can look at that policy, look at your medical records, and create a winning strategy for getting you the disability benefits you deserve, notwithstanding provisions in your policy that will appear to limit coverage. So give us a call at 727-894-3188 for a complimentary consultation. I look forward to helping you get the disability benefits you deserve regardless of where you live in the United States.